Continuing our series on SoCal, the birth of many of the fast food restaurants we all know and love, today we'll examine the history of a burger chain started by an African American woman, once owned by one of the legendary Lakers players, and has now expanded to locations across the globe, with some locations operated by rap musicians. This is the history of Fatburger on PCZ TV. PCZ TV. But first, a very short recap of fast food. It was really the post-World War II era in Southern California that spurned on what we know today as fast food or quick service restaurant, QSR. I mean, the state of California even has a web page dedicated to fast food. But why then, and why SoCal? Well, the highway system that we built in the 1950s and 60s helped Americans drive more and more and allowed folks to live farther and farther afield in the suburbs. And while car hops were in existence since the 30s, you still had to park to eat. The advent of the drive-thru meant that you never had to stop driving. Also impacting the explosion of fast food was the franchising model. While not invented by Ray Kroc of McDonald's fame, you could argue that he perfected the formula. So let's take a peep at the map of SoCal showing the original locations of all the QSRs started here, and you'll see right there, smack in the middle, is Fatburger, which, as we'll see, is unique in a number of ways. The founder of the chain was Lovie Yancey, who was born in Texas in 1912. She operated a restaurant in Tucson and then moved to Los Angeles in the 1940s. And that's when she began thinking about launching a new restaurant. She decided to focus on hamburgers because, as she said, they were then the fastest selling sandwich in America. So she partnered with either her boyfriend or her husband. It depends on what source you believe. But his name was Charles Suitcase Simpson. What a great nickname. He worked for a construction company and reportedly used scrap materials to build a 3-stool hamburger stand on Western Avenue. And it was called Mr. Fatburger. Now about the name, Yancey advised that she named the burger stand and specifically chose fat to be in the title. So why fat? Because when you say fat now, you think of, well, fat or like Jabba the Hutt fat. But the Western Avenue location of the original Fatburger sat on the edge of the black neighborhood of Jefferson Park and near all the high-profile jazz clubs of the era, including Club Oasis, Club Alabama, and the Tiffany Club. And at that time, the jazz scene used the term fat to describe not only something big, but something deluxe. Now in 1952, Charles and Lovie split, with Lovie buying up his share and dropping both him and the Mr. from the name. And what we know as the modern-day Fatburger was born. Now, the proximity to the jazz clubs brought in some famous names, including entertainers Red Fox and Ray Charles, who would custom order their burgers. And this influx was late because it was after the jazz clubs closed, so due to this late-night demand, they changed to be open 24 hours a day. The popularity of the brand expanded. In 1973, Yancey opened a Fatburger on La Cienega Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And this became a favorite destination for celebrity burger buffs. Yancey recounted that one night there was some kind of award ceremony and people came in their limousines and their tuxes. These were celebrities like Johnny Carson, or Elizabeth Taylor, or Muhammad Ali. In 1981, Yancey began offering franchises in what was billed as the last great hamburger stand, And by 1985, in addition to 4 company-owned locations, there were 15 Fatburger franchise sites. During this period, Fatburger was named in Entrepreneur Magazine's annual Franchise 500 list for 3 consecutive years. Now, Yancey sold her Fatburger Corporation to an investment group in 1990, led by Island Records founder Chris Blackwell, but she retained control of the original property on Western Avenue. Blackwell, in turn, formed the Fatburger Corporation, or FAT. In October 2001, Lakers great Magic Johnson, in partnership with GE Capital Franchise Finances, bought the franchise. Now, Magic's involvement drew a great deal of interest, but his time with the company was short-lived as he sold the majority of his interest in the chain in 2003. Fog Cutter Capital Group acquired a significant interest in FAT in 2003. And in 2007, rapper Kanye West's restaurant company, KW Foods LLC, struck a deal to open up to 10 Fatburger restaurants in Chicago. Ultimately, by 2009, only 2 locations were actually opened, and in 2011, West shut down one of them. R&B musician Pharrell got into the act also, and opened several Fatburger restaurants in China in 2007 and 8. Meanwhile, Fat Brands went out and purchased multiple other QSR brands. But not all is rosy in the C-suite of Fat, because in 2024, Andrew Wiederhorn, then chairman of the board of Fat Brands, was indicted on federal criminal charges, accused of taking millions of dollars in shareholder loans for his personal benefit, and also concealing millions of dollars in reportable compensation from the IRS. Naughty boy.
You're stealing, right to jail.
Now, turning towards popular culture, Fatburger has been featured or seen in TV series, movies, and music. Given Red Fox was an early patron, it comes as no surprise that Fatburger makes an appearance in his TV show Sanford and Son. It's also mentioned in the film The Fast and the Furious. And in 1992, Fatburger gained national attention by being referenced in the hit song It Was a Good Day by rapper and actor Ice Cube. It was also in the notorious B.I.G. song Going to Cali. And Fatburger even once made the Dave Letterman's top 10 list for things he'd miss most about leaving Los Angeles. In 2001 film Rat Race, the main characters were sitting inside a Fatburger. And finally, in the 2016 film Get a Job, the Hank Diller character is at his desk with food from Fatburger. So what is the current state today of Fatburger? Lovie Yancey died in 2008, but left behind a $1.7 million endowment at the City of Hope National Medical Center in Duarte in research into sickle cell anemia. And the original burger stand, well, it was never designated as a Los Angeles historical or cultural monument. So a developer, Mercy Housing, bought the property and built a 4-story, 61-unit apartment building on the former site. However, they did preserve a vague representation of the former Fatburger Shack at the development site, which includes a plaque that recognizes Yancey's incredible impact in the South Los Angeles and greater SoCal culture. If you've enjoyed this video on the history of SoCal fast food, perhaps you might be interested in my other SoCal food-related videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. If you've been watching this far, I thank you. And now, my disclaimers.
Bye.